Hey everyone, and welcome back to Shuffle. Today, I'm joined with members of the Cymru Cactuars to have a quick, discussion about the set Opus 16 Emissaries of Light. So with me I have Jenny.
Hello.
I have Connor.
Howdy.
And I have James.
Hello.
And we're going to be talking about some of, just not all of the cards, but quite a lot of the cards that we think are pretty good in the set. All round, what's everybody thinking about this set? Do they like it?
I'm in love.
I like the ice cards.
I like the water cards.
I'm very mixed.
Mixed? Oh, okay. Let's start with fire. I think the first one we're talking about is Varn.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to get into it too much. Is a backup, which is different for Varn.
Mm-hmm.
Usually you don't see Varns. Well, they've all been forward so far.
They've also
none of them
not been fire.
Yeah. The most interesting thing I think we can say about it is that Philo can make it tap for fire, wind, or water.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of damage it does is okay, but the S you probably with this sort of backup don't want to run.
It's sort of self-contradictory in the sense that the first effect is something that you want to play somewhat later in the game because you want to have the setup to be able to cast 3 cards and then get the damage. But then the S effect is one you want to be pumping out early in terms of you want to get you want to just discard to put damage on the board. So it's kind of in that weird niche where you kind of don't want to run as many copies, but then you kind of have to use the S effect.
I think we can put this one squarely under we'll see.
Yeah, I honestly don't see if he'll ever see play.
I like that you referenced the Philo potential. That is...
Yeah, and the Pinello backup can search it as well, so it couldn't search Fire CP before, but now it can.
It's the closest we've seen to a Fasoya in a while.
Okay. Light for Sawyer.
Yeah.
It's been a while, so...
It has.
Do you think you'll ever see a day with Light for Sawyer again?
No, but I could play Water Fire, play loads of Vons, and do his S effect instead, without taking a point of damage.
And play Earth as well, so that you can use Rebel Akbel to get them back every time.
Sorted. Okay, first deck. Let's go.
I just don't see if he'll ever be relevant. I don't see you playing water in Fire Wind for the Philo bit to become relevant. 3k is meh. 8k is decent, but are you really casting a backup on 3?
No.
Maybe you are if you're playing Atmos and it's already on board. But
maybe colour fixing potential somewhere down the line, but I don't particularly
S
think
is nice, but...
I think it's probably best to not view it as a Sky Pirate and just view it as a searchable backup.
So, well, as a mono fire guy as well, do you think that it's got potential?
It's no, because it's already tight enough as it is, and when you've already got options like Zande, Ace, Blaze, you're already pressed for room as it is, and can I see this being used over those? Probably not.
They'll probably only see play as a Pinello target. Just backup ramp.
Let's move on. The next one I picked out is Onion Knight, which, of course, Connor, you think is...
trash.
But I think it's really good. I play Warrior of Lights, and I think it's good. It's a 4/8, which is pretty, it's on the level. It's a Sage and a Warrior of Light, and you can discard 2 and draw 2, and if it's the last one in your hand, you get to draw 2. It's pretty good.
It's nice that we finally got a second Sage Onion Knight.
I'm excited about
it's
that.
a bit... Well, it's 10 sets too late, I think, so...
I will experiment with it. I think it's a solid. Is it common? It's solid common, not too bad.
It doesn't get in the way of the deck building in the sense that you can just throw one of it into your standard Lightning Wind, Onion Knights, and it's probably not going to harm you too much.
Yeah, as Warrior of Lights as well, it does help you get like stray lights out of your deck, or out of your hand, so it's not too bad.
I think that's definitely a Warrior of Light card over anything.
Yeah. It's cool. Maybe it will see some niche play. The next one, the Cloud Backup, I think is insanely good.
I agree.
I think it's really, really good.
I think it's more a Knight's card than anything else.
I
A
would
way
agree.
to search Garland in color is very much needed. Fire doesn't have much search.
I think that so of the 3 lines it's got, which is deal something 5,000 damage, choose 1 category 7 forward in your break zone out to your hand, and choose 1 forward without multi-card, search for 1 forward with the same name and add to your hand. I do not think that if you're playing a category 7 deck or anything
you're
like that,
not playing this.
you are absolutely not playing this. Well, maybe
Nope.
like Fire Ice.
Maybe
get
if you're
Sephiroth
playing
or
a
something.
bad
That's what
7
I was
deck.
going to say. Fire Ice is where I could see this.
Nah,
if
I'd
it's
say
gonna
you're
be-
playing the Light Cloud then, because
Yeah.
it searches backups. So.
Yeah.
That is also true.
So 100%, it's the whole it gets S effects.
And then the 5k damage, Ace just does it better, or
And
even
Vivi.
Vivi does it better.
Yeah, but I think that's more of a choice. Like, if it doesn't do anything else, at least it'll do that. I think it's really good.
But being able to search SFX is where you need to see if this card is good or not.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Haven't we seen that ability before on something though?
Yes, it was on the Forward Realm from a few sets ago.
No one plays that.
I saw it play for a little while in some things.
It's niche, but it's forecasts, which made it weird.
Okay, maybe the fact this is a backup, and in
It was
fire
also
makes it
tiny
good.
power,
Yeah.
which made it worse.
It's just the fact that you can get Garland. It's just mental.
Okay.
James, Samurai backup.
It's not great.
Not great.
Agreed.
Recursion in fire.
It's
not
a
Yes.
great.
devout.
It's a devout. It is
Yeah?
devout.
We haven't played devouts in 12 sets.
Devouts weren't searchable.
No, but at the same time, it is 4 CP, and in Samurais, with how many backups you're already running, space is tight enough as it is. Don't get me wrong, you still play at least one of this. You
Yeah.
still play at least one because it gets back your Cyans,
Your
it gets
Terror.
back Terror, it gets back the 3 CP Samurai, which can hit for 11s, and being able to hit over the 10k mark can sometimes be important, but it is still expensive.
It's a 4
to
CP
play
do nothing
early.
backup.
Yes.
It's,
One thing I think is worth noting is that it's a fire, an okay fire searcher for Star Sybil. Like,
It is.
Oh,
That is-
yeah.
that is a very good point.
we've only had bad ones.
we've had 2 before.
Yeah.
Cornelia and...
Sid 11.
That
Sid
one,
11. Oh,
Yeah.
Sid 11's face. I'm
So
going to
this
put
is
up
the
on
best
screen
so
right
far.
now.
Really? Would you want to search a forecast do nothing backup off
Doesn't
Star
do
Sybil?
nothing.
It
Ah,
has
it
Recursion
doesn't-
for,
options.
recursion for cards that you can't get back.
On the next plus turn.
Coming
Not
from the guy
really.
that plays Were I.
I've never played Where I think you know.
Like, I feel like it's actually quite a nice little package. Like, you play Sai and you play the Samurai. So you're playing, like, Earth Fire. This Samurai then gets your Scion back after
But
that's
Yeah.
happened.
It's
you're
also-
not doing that, though.
But it's also 2k ping,
if it's a
2k AoE.
samurai.
It's 2k AoE.
and it isn't constrained to the main phase or anything.
Do you know, when I first saw this, the first card I thought of was Terror.
Yeah.
Because I like being able to loop my summons.
Yeah.
You always want to get a whatever you need, whether it be an Amaterasu or a Brynhilde.
Well,
I
that's
think
the thing. If you do crack it and get back Terra, your Brynhilde is going to deal 9k that turn.
no, because it's only if a Samurai comes
Yeah.
back.
Oh, I'll forget that then. Rubbish. Put in the bin.
I would have liked it if it was during neither player's turn. It would have actually been something new.
Yeah.
Maybe it's worth the 4 CP investment, but I think it's a one-off in Samurais.
I think if it's either turn, it's maybe a bit too good.
For
that-
4 CP, do nothing on entry. I
Yes,
think that's
but
fine.
then if you go back to the Terror point, being able to bring back summons during bringing back an Amaterasu at literally any point in the game can decide a game then and there.
Maybe.
So it's the context of the cards around it. But yeah, it's
You
a
could
fine.
also like stack that really weirdly as well,
Yeah, you could.
so that you can crack the Samurai, get the Terra, then get the Amaterasu, then target
Yeah.
the auto.
I mean-
or the
Yeah, it's a safe one-off. It's going in as a one-off. It'll do its job fine. That's not much more to say, really.
The first legend we're going to talk about today, Squall, with a Squall that looks nothing like him, where he's dancing with definitely Renoa and not Terra.
I think
It's still a good card. I mean,
it's an
got
amazing
a
card.
hell
It
of a lot
is
of text on it. Is this a mono fire card or is this a fire ice card?
Both.
it can be
I
both
think.
Yeah.
easily.
Yes.
Is there a lot of space in like mono fire decks for 4/8s these days though?
It's searchable in fire on any X.
Selfie is
Yeah.
a searchable. Lagunas are searchable for ice.
Yeah.
The 4K and then 4K are just both good lines of text in general. Generally, it's fairly easy enough to give it haste, so you're
Yeah.
always going to be able to put that on the board. It's just a good. It's just a generic.
Four is definitely not the magic number. I suppose the missing line of text on this is that when he attacks and deals your opponent a point of damage.
Yes, he's basically unblockable because he will wipe the board if you block. 9 times out of 10.
I think the second line of text is completely irrelevant. It's never happening.
Well,
pretty
first
much,
strike.
pretty
Yeah.
much.
First
never
try attack
happening.
twice. It's never happening. But yeah, I think
I mean-
just the 4K wipe on attack is
Yeah.
good enough.
Well, Soul, the next one. Soul is incredible.
It's amazing.
He's incredible. The fact that he can play any forward of cost 4 or less from your hand. It's like, so technically you actually can play him to play Agrius this time rather than the other way around, and you can play something else, but that would probably be a waste of what it can do, since it can play Faris, Wall, Bart, any of those Warrior of Light ones for free within its own deck. But like even further away from that, like I suppose it can even play this Squall.
Are you playing this over the other Soul? Because
Yes.
that's not a bad card either.
Which one? Because
The 2CP hasty one?
I don't
the
think I'll
newer
play that
one.
the
newer
1
one.
CP party attack one,
That one.
I don't rate. I've never played that. I really don't like it. I always like the other 2 CP one that gets bigger. But this one, this is just the only one to play from now on. In Warrior of Light decks, in Fire decks, and everything. This is, it's just really good.
Yeah, we all know what on stack, whenever you want, well, on action, whenever you want, plus 2k, plus more can do. Warrior of Lights, that's incredible.
Yeah.
The
But I
fact
think
that
as an
crystals are so easy to get in Warriors of Light.
If you
as
think of
well.
it as a free extender for Warrior of Lights, that's pretty much amazing because its effect is free.
Yeah.
Because you will have Barts on board. So I think it's pretty good, but I think it's only going to see play in Warrior of Lights.
Do you think?
I
Not
don't-
even in just generic Fire?
No.
I wouldn't be tempted to put it in.
Okay.
No, the party attack bit's completely irrelevant. That's never going to come up because it's not going to go inside a Monofire deck. I think it's only going to be Warrior of Light.
The next one is, remember when Knights used to be in Lightning?
They're not anymore.
No, they haven't been in Lightning for ages. So we've got the new Little Ramsar, and I think Little Ramsar is brilliant. I
It
think
is?
he's really good.
It's really good. It is.
These effects don't end at the end of the
No,
turn.
so for 1 crystal, he gains haste and his power becomes 9k. That's pretty good. And for another crystal, he gains First Strike, Brave, and can attack twice. I've included this. I'm not really talking about the deleter. I think the delete is okay, but I will have to see on that one.
Ramsar's definitely the better of the two.
Ramsar is just
I think
mental.
Delete is decent as a way to get multiple crystals at one point in time because it board wipes on entry.
Could.
It's 4k on entry. If you clean up, that's 2-3 plus crystals in a turn. But yeah, this card is pretty awesome. This is pretty much generic Fire, I think. If you're thinking of playing Fire, you're thinking of putting this in.
You need to be careful in the water matchup though, because Kukulane and Porum will give this card a really hard time.
But yeah, I think it's good card.
It will win the game. It's like Illua. It's very
Yeah.
much an Illua type card where if you try to ignore it, it will kill you.
Do you mean Lightning Allure or Fire Allure?
Fire Illua.
Speaking of Fire Allure, she's got a new best friend, and it's this Lunath. This Lunath with the lovely new artwork to go with the Refia that you're still probably not going to play. It's really good. It's basically as well because obviously it's got you can choose 1 or 2 effects at the beginning of the attack phase. You can choose 1 job Warrior of Light other than Lunath, and it will gain 1,000 power, haste, and First Strike. In a Warrior of Light deck, I'm not even sure how relevant that is. It's pretty good, but I don't know if it's what you choose over the fact that it deals 1,000 damage for each job Warrior of Light or Fire character you control instead. That is insane, especially say with Allure there. So obviously Lunath can start them off, and then Allure can just kind of even spread the damage apart rather than just kind of go on one thing like she usually does.
Doesn't even have to be Illua. Brynhilda, Ifrit.
Yeah.
You've got so many options to stack on top of this.
And Lunath isn't a name used in current Warrior of Light builds, so it's an easy fit in, right?
Yeah,
You don't really play this 3 cost, right?
Yeah, you do because it can cost 1 with Faris, but it's not hard to take it out
Yeah.
at all.
It's a good card. It does something every single turn. It needs to be killed.
Are you
It's a
gonna,
lightning rod.
which effect would you be more tempted to use in a Warrior of Light deck?
I think that's situational. I'd have to see what the build is, but I think it's probably the ping one. I think just because, again, that sets things up for Faris quite easily and makes it so that you don't have, like, obviously if Faris is on the board, it's get rid of it. But this makes it so that you've got more chances for, do I get rid of this one, that one, I don't know, sort of thing. Our second Fire Legend, Lasso.
Mono Fire card is Mono Fire card.
I don't think it's very good.
It is very, very high roll.
it's meta dependent. If there's a lot of fire, you ain't playing this.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you play this
Brynhilde
against
smacks
Brynhilde,
this.
you have lost 3
If
cards.
there's anything to look at with the fire cards in this set, nobody's going to stop playing fire anytime soon.
No.
Yeah. So I think
Water's also a dangerous one to play this against with Atomos, Fanfrits, various other tools of removal.
Yeah.
But if it does go off, you're going to win.
Yeah.
Why are so many of the cards this set 5k power? That's one thing I've noticed. Like the
5k,
last
5K
probably
is
a
the magic
balancing
number.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
5k is the magic
5K
number.
and
the
9k
last
are the magic
4
numbers
cards
at the
we've
minute.
talked about, loads that have come in are 5ks. It's weird.
Yeah. I
Ice
think-
cards. Ice
Yes!
cards. I don't like ice cards.
I love
Another
I don't play ice
5K.
cards. Agrius is my favorite card in the set.
Easy.
I love it to bits. So Agrius gets bigger by 3k. It's only a 2/5, but it's not a 2/5 because if you control a Final Fantasy Tactics character, she gains 3,000 power. So with just Ovelia as a backup, she's a 2CP 9k.
Duke, same thing.
Duke, yeah, it shouldn't become 9k though. Like that's insane. Sort of,
Duke Lark's 9k. 8K
oh, Duke
plus-
Larg. Oh yeah, sorry, I thought you meant Duke Cortana.
No.
That's actually that's
In color, 9k.
That's really good as well, yeah. When she's targeted by summons or abilities, your opponent has to discard one. That might be one of the best discard effects we've ever had.
I think it's only been seen in stuff that costs too much.
Yeah.
Kuja, Capricious Reaper.
Well,
been a while.
It was great for back in the day, but we're 13 sets on now,
Yeah.
so...
Any card that has self-protection should immediately be looked at. But it's the next effect that makes this big thing.
When she
Because,
attacks, gain a crystal.
yes, not
What?
party attack. When it attacks,
Mhm.
it's always going to be an 8 or 9k. It's never going to be less. And yeah, what Ice needed really was something that gained advantage over a period of turns. It needed a way to start rolling the game, and Crystal is good enough. It's not removal, but it can lead to removal.
Yeah.
And in the self-protection, you can't kill this efficiently. This is a very good card for a 2CP.
Well, what we saw again in the last set was that crystals were generally sort of valued about 2CP. And this kind of, if you look at it that way, every time she attacks, that you get a 2CP token, that's pretty good to spend on floating CP anywhere.
One thing to note about this and all the other ones is that they're both FFBE and FFT, so you've got synergy from 2 different
Yeah.
categories. You can use Axstar can search
Yeah.
this. There's all sorts of different. There's the Wind FFBE searcher.
You ain't playing this with Wind, I don't
No.
think. But
No. But do you play it with... So, with being that it's a knight and that Ice Knights have never ever been relevant, do you go Tri-Element to get Ovelia's?
no.
No?
I've been theory crafting Tri. You don't really want the water. The water's only there for Sarah Velia.
Gawain?
Duke is good enough.
You think? Okay.
Yeah. Because most of the things in Ice are fair powered.
Yeah.
So the +1, or the reason to play a +1, is actually really good.
Mhm.
Like Laswell.
Oh, well, let's go straight to Lastwell because it makes sense now. We'll do that. So Lastwell says it's a 2/5. Believe it or
What
not.
a surprise.
It says when Lastwell or a Job Knight enters your field, choose one character, dull it, and freeze it.
Character.
Remember when that used to cost 4?
Yeah.
At the end of each of your turns, if a Job Knight you controlled attack this turn, your opponent discards 1 card from their hand. Disgusting.
No, Genesis has grown up.
Yeah. And, well, he's given a little bit of power off and
Mhm.
everything, but...
So yeah, once again, another card that can start rolling the game, gain advantage over a period of turns. Being a 2CP and Agrius being 2CP, this is a very aggressive card, so you can actually play it off no backups, which is great. Doubt it'll ever come up, but it says Knight, not Knight forward, so you can actually play Palinor and Seguaris to dull and freeze a character.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
But again, I don't think there was a scene play, but they might.
You've got the Ramsar backup as well.
Yes, that's the lightning one.
But yeah, this card is pretty amazing. You're never playing this alongside Agrius, and you're not playing 2-3 of each.
Well, I'll roll that back in as well. What about Mustadio? Because I think this is really cool as well.
Stadio's fine.
I mean, it's Sephiroth with slightly better texts.
The fact that you can cost nothing if you make your opponent discard and then he'll dull something, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, we'll see if Glacier comes back in. I think that's the only way you're really discarding during your opponent's turn, or at least in the main phase.
Well, anything they do to target,
But yeah.
Agrius.
Dull character, good. Put from a break zone. If it's free, it's
Gains a crystal.
yeah.
Not like you can have.
And if you assume that crystal is 2 CP, it's paying for itself on leave.
Yeah.
So I think it's good. I doubt we'll see more than a one-off, but we've rarely seen back attack cards, and this is probably the best alongside Lunath for a back attack card.
Yeah.
But again, we'll see. This is a cuttable card, I think.
Okay. We'll see. We'll do the two legends back to back. We'll do Cloud of Darkness, the incredibly booby Cloud of Darkness.
Have you seen the full art?
I don't
See one
want
more.
to.
But
Yeah. Cloud of Darkness enters the field. You may pay 2 crystals, which, of course, now in Ice means absolutely nothing since you've got crystals just everywhere. When you do so, choose one forward your opponent controls, remove it from the game. As long as Cloud of Darkness is on the field, your opponent cannot play any of the copies of the removed card. And on damage 3, she goes up to 9k. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It takes something out of the game, and unless your opponent can kill it, they can't play another one.
I mean,
I
you
think
walk up to a Sky Pirates player and you say you are not playing Van for the rest of the game
Yeah.
until they get rid
Very
of it.
scary.
So I think this is too fair. 2 crystals. If I'm expected to pay 2 crystals with the risk of it being a Matarasu'd after I paid, I want this fact to last after it leaves. If we compare it to its closest equivalent, it would be Robol Akbel. Robol is far better than this. It's immediate on entry removal for 1. It can hit monsters, and it recurs a card every single turn. This just goes to 9.
It's removal in ice though, reliable removal in ice.
If it
How
wasn't
much-
for Agrius, I would never play, even think of playing this. But with both Agrius and Toto, I think this is a one-of in
Yeah.
ice cards.
It's how much value do you put on the not being able to play that card again, and then how easy is this to remove? Because if you can get rid of something like a Van or a Penello or one of the twins or a Rydia, and you lock your opponent out, it can win the
devastate some
game.
decks.
However, it's got no inbuilt protection, so it is fairly easy to kill in certain decks.
This is
So
more of a
it's-
toolbox card, I think.
Mhm.
You play as a one-of because you can recur it in ice now. It hits key cards that shut out games. I don't think you hit Van in Pirates. I think you hit Penello.
Penello's probably the one to
Because
hit,
once
yeah.
Penello's down, that's gone. That's most of its Sky Pirates removal.
Bolthier as well is a good shout.
Bolty
Yeah.
is decent. Stops their aggro. Yeah, I think it's a one-off. If you're playing it.
If Final Fantasy had a sideboard, this would be a sideboard card.
Well,
Oh,
no,
that's
that's a whole
yeah. Let's
other
not talk
debate
about sideboard.
altogether.
There's so many ice cards that could be sideable.
Yep.
Shantoto, the other legend in ice of all elements for some reason. If your opponent has 1 card or less in their hand, the cost card to cast Shantoto is reduced by 3, so it costs 1.
So I think
Not a
this
hell of a
is-
lot controllable, but when Shantao enters the field, choose 1 character other than card name Shantao in your break zone, add to your hand. That's pretty good.
It's not limited to ice, so it's fine
Yeah,
in
yeah.
whatever you play it in.
And for Ice, 1 and Crystal, you can remove Shantoto in your hand from the game to dull all the forwards your opponent controls. But obviously you're going to use it if she's in your hand. That's pretty good.
So
It's a bit interesting in the sense that so the first Shantota we always think of is the 7 CP board
Yeah.
white removal. That's your baseline. And then whenever other Toto decks have come along, it is specifically for those Totos, i.e. the damage AoE one, you have the deck built around that. The 9 CP one is always going into Ranpair decks because that's where you get the value. This is the first just generically good Toto that could replace the board wipe, which poses an interesting question because do you play this over the board wipe?
So, yes. Honestly, I think with the way the game's being played now, 7 CP Toto isn't doing much. It's far too easy to mitigate the damage it can do. I don't think you're playing this for its entry. You're definitely not playing it for its cheapness. the hand trap is what you're playing this for.
Yeah.
And I think because of its second effect, the choose character, bring it back to hand, it's generically good enough to play in anything you're playing a Tyro in, but you're playing it for the hand trap. Because
Tyro and Sybil.
yeah, this is a card that needs to be respected, this format. Because if you're playing against ice, this is something you need to have in the back of your mind at any point in time. I think it's the third best card in this set.
Oh, okay.
Definitely no bias.
Yeah, well, it's generically good.
So the first, of course, is being Babus, 60p backup. I think Babus is cool. It's like Arden, but a little bit better. But it's a little bit high rolly.
Am I right in saying if your opponent's got no forwards on board, they can just select that
Yes.
and then just
And so if they've got
waste
no
one of them?
cards, they can select that as well.
Yes.
But it depends which is the worst of them, because there's only 3. So it's
There's
four of them. The worst, of course, being skip your opponent's next main phase 1 and 2.
Skip
so
a turn.
skip main phase 1 and 2 and freeze all characters are essentially the same effect.
Unless you're playing wind.
Yeah, true. So I think this is always doing choose a forward, put in the break, discard 2. If you think of it in that sense, discard 2 alone makes this a 2 CP evoker. If it's breaking something, that's immediately paying for itself in cost. So I think it'll see play. It'll be a one-off, but we'll have to see if it does something. I certainly will try it.
The fact that your opponent chooses them sucks, but you're going to be choosing when to play it.
Yeah.
So you're not going to play it if they don't have a forward or anything.
Or if they don't have any cards in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
you-
choose that.
You shouldn't be comparing this to Arden. Arden is discard your entire hand and pray your opponent doesn't have a Matarasu. This is, who cares if this gets a Matarasu? If it goes off, you're doing equal
the
value
discard
plus.
effect is something that I always find really interesting, because if that is one they choose, they discard 2. But essentially, it's too fair a discard, because it costs 6. You had to do that at any time you played it as well.
Mhm.
So you still had to get 2 out of your hand.
Yes,
So
true.
it's one of those things that, like, if it was discard 3, or which it never said, no, it would never say that at all. But it is fairer than it looks in some things, apart from if you have to skip your next turn.
Mhm.
That is just disgusting.
Or when it's the only backup you open and you have to play this turn 1.
Yeah,
Then-
we'll have
then
to
you're just
see.
Crying.
High-costed backups will be more relevant this set because of cards we'll obviously talk about in a bit. FFTA is relevant this set. You got Marsh, and you also got stuff like Doned, which can come bring it back to hand.
Yeah.
So it's decent category, decent effects. Maybe a bit too fair. I'll probably play as a one-off.
Give it a go. Let's move on to wind. First of all, the legend Wall. He sucks.
When I saw this and I saw that it was a Warrior of Dawn and not a Warrior of Light, I
I'm
just
not a Dawn Warrior.
it just whoever did that, they knew what they were doing 100%. Verstale is where I see this being played. If anything, all the text screams to me that this goes in 5 or higher.
Agreed.
Is there much more to say? Jen, have you got anything on that one?
No.
This
Not
Verstale
at all.
or Earthwind card, nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
But-
Earthwind's a shout.
But as well, if you're playing Earthwind Mobius with a lot of the big cards as well, you play the other Wall.
That's true. It is a Mobius, so that can be relevant, especially. Oh no, name clash. Never mind.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Chalotta, 4 cost EX 6k, allows you to get crystals. You don't think it's good?
No, I don't think this is going to see inside of a sleeve. Not in a proper deck.
Discard it to gain the crystals, not bad.
Yeah, but who cares?
Converting the card into a different sort of floating CP. Nah.
Wind isn't really using crystals.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, what
So-
in Wind uses crystals to maximum efficiency?
So let's just skip it and get to the legend that's not a
Yeah.
legend. Zidane.
Best card in the set.
2 CP 5k.
Hey guys, how do we get people to stop playing the 3CP Zidane? Why do we print one that's more broken?
Yes. This card is absolutely nuts. If it comes on field as third cast or higher, uncontested, it's mill 3 and extend your hand by 2. So, and that's just one attack. This card is...
It has to die. This card cannot
Yes.
be allowed to survive under any circumstances.
I think, again, it's got to be 2 CV5Ks just for a balancing sort of thing, because...
I think 5k is too much for this. I think it should have been like 3 with its
Really?
specs. Yeah.
I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah, okay.
This will see play, and I think we might start seeing the end of 3 CPs a day.
Let's hold a mini funeral for 3 CP Sedan.
Well, it's. I think this means that almost every copy of Sedan has been format warping.
Except for the dual colour.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. That was the thing. Apart from that one, but every other one has been
The
format.
fire
warping.
one saw play, the light one saw play, the water one saw a bit
The
of play.
Wind Legend,
Yes.
Yeah, the original
but the
Zidane still
original
play.
one and the Opus 6 one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sedan.
Unblockable Zidane.
Zidane's doing well.
Yeah. A slightly more boring card, but one that I think is quite interesting is Theodore. It says you may dole 3 active category 4 characters you control. When you do so, choose one character of cost 4 or more, break it.
When it enters the field.
Yeah, but if you do it with forwards, you get them back in the attack phase.
It is a Sarah target. Sarah searches princes, am I
Yeah.
right?
I think this is more of a title card than anything else. I think Cat 4 is spread too thinly over all the elements, or
There's
too
a Rosa
fairly.
backup now.
Come back to me when we have a Force Searcher.
Yeah, it's got no searches in category. Theodore has some support in roses, I want to say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but no, I think it's category 4 is spread too thin over too many colours. I don't think this will see play in standard.
The other legend, Theodore's dad.
4th best card in the set.
I don't think it's that good because he's only got 8k. It's the same sort of reason I don't like Raffia.
Yeah, well, on entry, play a character of cost 4 or less from your hand. Immediately pays for itself as an extender. If your opponent does anything, basically, they have to pay 2.
How does it stack with Theodore? Like, can you play that, choose a Theodore, choose 4 character backups to then dull them with Theodore?
Yeah.
In theory.
That's all right.
How much are you paying? How many cards are in your hand this turn?
Well, you need to pay the Cecil.
Yep.
You pay the Cecil, that plays the Theodore.
Oh, I
And then you're
suppose-
doing Theodore's effect for like 1 active character. That's not bad.
Yeah, but then you have to put Theodore on your deck. So
So
Oh.
again,
Okay.
not getting too spoilery with probably the next 4 cards we're going to talk about. Is Mono Wind coming back?
Yeah,
we
boy.
need... Yes.
It could easily.
It
Wind
is.
So you didn't want to talk about Chocobo Sam, but we're going to talk about Chocobo Sam.
Sam's not
Chocobo Sam is amazing. It's a 1 backup, 3 backup card.
It is.
So by
really,
itself,
really
it
good.
plays 3 backups by the end of turn 2 minimum. It is an amazing extender for Mono Wind.
Mhm.
It's not a Chocobo card. It is a Mono Wind
All
card.
right, okay. I will concede that then, but just as a Chocobo card, it's terrible.
Yes.
Chocobo Sam gets Fat Chocobo, which grabs your other stuff. Like, you're already off to the races so far ahead at
Yeah.
that point. Going back to Cecil, one thing to note, it does suffer heavily to Amaterasu, which can be said for a lot
Every
of
game.
things.
Yeah, I mean that kind of goes without saying these days, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
If this was 9, I think it probably would have been too good because
No, then
Terra-
it wouldn't
yeah.
die.
if you're Matarazu terraping it, you have to pay 2 extra to kill it. So
Mhm.
I think 8k is fair. We'll see if it's too fair. Might just be.
What category 4 characters could you play off this to get the activation? Is Rose is the only one that's coming to mind in Mono
The
Wind.
Theodore.
Hooded Man.
Hooded Man, yeah.
Yeah. What I
Several
don't
games.
like is the fact that it's got tax. Wind is
Talon
stealing
Bar.
effects from all other
Yeah.
all other elements, and tax is just another one. It's stolen off ice.
Mm-hmm.
King Tycoon is the one I'm excited for. I think it's
Oof.
disgusting.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely disgusting. You can't play it unless it's going to win you the game that turn. But if you do, you probably weren't going to win the game that turn. It bounces all your opponents forwards and monsters.
It's a searchable board wipe.
Yeah,
Searchable it is.
and
But I don't think Wind had a good Sara target until now. So I think this will see play because it's a king.
Yeah.
Oh, it's also
No, it
a
had-
Claris
it had-
target.
No, Sora had loads of princesses like Fiona and stuff.
I had princesses. So it's a Claris target then.
yeah, yeah.
So Claris might see a bump in play now.
Oh, that's disgusting. Actually, Earth getting a hold of something like this
Yeah.
is just great.
It's already got Toto and Titan. You've just given him another one.
Yeah.
Return them to hand sucks, but it is 5 CP.
It's also the monster bouncing can also be relevant with the monsters that
It
are coming
will
out
be
this
more
set.
relevant
We're
this
gonna
time.
talk
Which we'll
about
get, we'll,
monsters
we'll get to that
later,
later, but
But yeah, good card.
Rounding up as well, we've got Fina, which is it's 3/7K. Doesn't matter. Can't be chosen by your opponent's summon's abilities.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter because if you remove it from your hand and you can cancel one auto triggered by a forward, but you can only do it if you've got 4 wind backups or more. Mono Wind is back, baby.
Mono
So-
Wind got Amaterasu.
This card is not a
Wisp.
forward, it is a summon.
Yes.
And that's the only way you think of it.
But it is a very, very, very.
It's
good
not quite a
summon.
Materasu because it doesn't
No.
kill the forward.
And you
but
cannot target backups.
Removing it from the game as well also means that you've only got so many times you can do it yourself.
which is a more fair version of effect cancel.
But this will see play.
Yes.
How many though?
3. If you're playing it, you're playing mono win, so you're playing 3 of this.
Jen, you played Mono Wind for a long time and had like quite a good bit of success with it. Do you think that you'd be playing most of these cards or going back to Mono Wind with this?
I'm stuck because I love water and I love wind. And I think mono water could be good this set, mono wind could be good this set, and water wind could be good this set. So I think I'm going to be building all 3. Fina is very good, but then wind has a lot of things that protects your stuff anyway. Not many people play them anymore, but you do have like Unsaganashis, your Stolers, all that kind of thing. If you're scared of things being done by forwards, you don't have to play Fina. Like, I don't think it's insane.
It's also searchable in elements.
It is.
Yeah.
That's a valid point. Like, it's very good.
But I think this might also see play in something like YRP. Because YRP is a 1 water, 3/4 win backup archetype. So there is this.
Is Sky Pirates the same?
No, Sky Pirates is 2 water because they want to search the Van. So
Good card. Probably the next 2 back to back, probably because there's very similar. But Madam M is a card that
it's okay.
Wind's never needed, but they've now gotten is disgusting, especially with an EX burst. So top 4 look for a wind character. Yeah, sure.
It's fine.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
You'd play it in mono wind. And Yuri, that when you enter the field, you reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Add one of them among them. Play 1 wind character. Cost 3 from your hand to the field. So a bit like Shadow, but not
It's,
restricted to backup.
Start of Van is probably the closest to it because reveal top 4 or 5 player 3
Yes,
cost.
but it didn't have to. It's not one of the revealed cards. It's like Shadow. It's from your hand afterwards.
No, it's add it to your hand
Oh no,
or play
among
it.
them onto the field.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
So you have a choice.
Oh, well, okay. So it is more like the start of Van then. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
But
can,
But
still
it's
pretty good.
character.
I think
Searchable.
yeah, the fact that it's 3 cost makes it fair because if this said 4 and you were able to play your 4 CP backups off of this, it would be stupid.
3 costs is 5.
No, your
What
4
it can
CP backups like your Nostalen, your
Oh, right, yeah.
Is it Mjörn or Jots? Which one is the 4 CP one?
Jot.
Hote.
It's an uncontested name, which helps
Joke.
it. We'll
Don't know
see
what you're on
if Mono
about,
Wind is going to
Yuri.
be suitable for this format. I don't think it's quite got enough oomph yet, but it's probably a fun
Well,
Fun
there we
deck.
go.